Welcome back. Let's dive into a story that's gonna give you chills. We're talking about one of the most baffling maritime mysteries ever told. It's a tale that starts with a desperate SOS and ends with a ghost ship. A truly horrifying discovery, and a secret so big it might have been sunk on purpose. We're unraveling the mystery of the SS Ourang Medan. So picture this, you're a radio operator, just another day at sea. And then a message crackles through the static. It's panicked, hard to understand. And then you hear it, just 2 words. I die. That was it. That was the last chilling message from the SS Ourang Medan. Okay, so let's set the stage. We're in the Strait of Malacca, February 1948. It's a major shipping route, between Malaysia and Indonesia. The seas are calm, everything's normal. And then, out of nowhere, the silence is just shattered. A series of incredibly bizarre distress calls start coming in. And this is where the legend begins. So these messages are coming in via Morse code, right? The first one is already bad. SOS from Ourang Medan. We need a doctor. All our officers are probably dead. I mean wow, but then it gets worse. A second message comes through, and it's just pure panic. Second, officers dead. Other crew members too. SOS, we need help now. And after that, just a jumble of garbled code, with only those 2 final terrifying words coming through clearly. Before nothing, just dead silence. Now any ship that picked up those calls knew this was serious. The closest one happened to be an American merchant ship, the Silver Star. And its captain, well, he didn't think twice. He immediately changed course, pushing the engines to full speed, heading straight for the Ourang Medan's last known coordinates. They were getting ready for a disaster. So after hours of racing to the scene, they finally see it on the horizon. But something is off, totally off. The crew of the Silver Star was expecting to see a sinking ship, maybe wreckage in the water. Instead, there's the Ourang Medan just sitting there, perfectly fine, no damage, just floating silently in the middle of the ocean. It had to be an incredibly eerie sight. You can just imagine the feeling on the Silver Star's deck, right? They start circling the Ourang Medan. The ship looks totally undamaged. But, and this is a big but, there's no smoke coming from its chimney, which is super weird for a steam engine. They're blasting their horn, yelling over the loudspeakers, trying to get any sign of life. And all they get back is silence. The whole ship felt wrong, like a tomb. Okay. So with no response, the captain of the Silver Star has to make a call, and it's a gutsy one. He realizes he has to send a team over to find out what in the world happened. He gathers a boarding party and they head over, and believe me, what they were about to find, it's the stuff of nightmares. The second they step foot on the Ourang Medan's deck, something is immediately wrong. They say they felt this intense, unnatural chill, totally out of place in the tropical heat. And then they see it. They see why the ship was so deathly quiet. Bodies were everywhere. And this is the part that just doesn't make any sense. It wasn't just that the crew was dead, it was how they died. Every single person was frozen in place. Their faces were twisted in pure terror, mouths open, eyes staring at nothing, as if they saw something absolutely horrifying in their final moments. Their arms were even stretched out, like they were trying to fight something off. But here's the kicker. There were no injuries, not a single mark. No blood, no signs of a fight. Even the ship's dog was found dead, snarling, frozen in an aggressive pose. What could possibly do that? And then they get to the radio room, and there he is. The man who sent those frantic messages. He slumped over his desk, dead at his post with his fingers. His fingers are still on the Morse code key. It's like whatever got him in the exact instant he sent that final terrible message. So the boarding party, understandably shaken, gets back to their ship. The captain of the Silver Star knows this is way bigger than anything he can handle. The plan: they're gonna tow this ghost ship to the closest port and let the authorities figure out what kind of horror unfolded here. But the orangutan wasn't done yet. Just as the crew starts hooking up the tow lines, smoke starts pouring out of one of the cargo holds. And this isn't a small fire. It erupts into a massive blaze almost instantly. The team has to cut the lines and just get the heck out of there. And literally moments after they get clear, a huge explosion just rips the ship in two. It sinks fast, taking every single piece of evidence and all of its secrets right down to the bottom of the ocean. So now the ship is gone, the crew is gone. The only thing left is this unbelievable story. But with no ship to inspect, no bodies, no evidence at all, people started asking a very important question: did this ghost ship ever really exist in the first place? And this is where the whole thing gets even weirder. It stops being just a spooky ghost story and turns into a real historical whodunit. Because when investigators started digging through official records looking for any mention of a ship named the SS Ourang Medan, they came up completely empty. Nothing. Nada. So on one hand, you have the official records, Lloyd's Shipping Register, which is like the Bible for this stuff, has absolutely no record of it. Poof. It's a ghost. But the story just won't go away. And there are good arguments for why it might be real. See, right, after World War II, things were a mess. A lot of ships were running unregistered, smuggling who knows what. And then you have the real bombshell, a declassified CIA file from 1958 that mentions the Ourang Medan incident by name. All of a sudden, this campfire story starts to look a whole lot more real. Alright. So for the sake of argument, let's say the ship was real. The incident happened. The big question then becomes what happened. What could possibly kill an entire crew in such a terrifying way and then cause the ship to just blow up? Well, over the years, a few major theories have popped up. The most popular and frankly most logical theory has to do with what was in the cargo hold. Remember, this is post-World War I. All sorts of dangerous, unregistered stuff is being moved around. The idea is that the Ourang was smuggling a nasty cocktail of chemicals, maybe something like potassium cyanide. If seawater got in and mixed with it, you'd get a massive cloud of toxic gas. It would have asphyxiated the crew almost instantly, which would explain those looks of horror, but no physical injuries and the fire and explosion. Well, if they were also carrying something unstable like nitroglycerin, that would explain how the whole ship went up in flames. But then there is a much darker theory, one that ties back to that CIA document. What if the ship wasn't just smuggling regular chemicals? What if it was carrying something top secret? Something military, like nerve agents or even biological weapons from Japan's notorious Unit 731. A leak of that stuff would definitely cause rapid, horrifying deaths. And if you're carrying a secret military weapon, well, that's a pretty good reason for your ship to be unregistered, and a pretty good reason why someone might want all the evidence to vanish in a fiery explosion. So where does that leave us? You've got two main possibilities. Was this a terrible accident? A case of smugglers getting in over their heads with dangerous chemicals? Or was it something way more sinister, a covert military operation that went catastrophically wrong and was then wiped from the map? Of course, people have talked about ghosts and aliens, but honestly, the chemical theories, whether accidental or intentional, seem to fit the strange set of facts the best. Ultimately, though, we'll probably never know for sure. The SS Ourang Medan, its poor crew, and whatever terrible secret it was carrying, they were all swallowed by the ocean. The only thing left is the story, a true ghost story of the high seas, still told by sailors to this day. And maybe that's the point. Maybe some mysteries are just lost forever, a chilling reminder of the secrets the deep can keep. If this story gripped you, so like the video and subscribe to the channel.